deck with the map of Portland on it.
Guys, we are live tonight with another edition of our eSkate show. And tonight we're live with a company that I love, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys love, which is Hoyt St Skateboards, electric skateboards. And we're here with Pete Johnston, the CEO, and Jeff Johnston, the founder. Welcome, guys.
Thanks. Good to be here.
You were just asking me if I'd seen Portland on a map, and I'm trying to remember not to be stupid, but I'm pretty sure it's near the sea. It's a port, right?
It is a port city, but it's not on the ocean. We're about an hour and a half from the ocean, but there's
Portland.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't want to sound stupid there, but no, I can't picture Portland on a map. Sorry.
No worries.
So how did you guys get into electric skateboarding over there in Portland? Did you know other people in the area, or did you just see it on the internet and try it out?
Well, Pete grew up skateboarding. I came into it because my ex-partner approached me as I was retiring from Nike, and he had started to get into surfing and wanted to figure out some ways of improving his balance away from the ocean, so that when he got to the ocean, he wasn't relearning his balance. And so he started to get into longboarding, and then came across electric skateboarding, built his own, and then thought that there was an opportunity there, and so reached out to me and said, sure, why not? Got nothing better to do. And it's been fun. Yeah, I started to bring in, the ideas about bamboo and how to make it, a sustainable product and elevate the beauty of it.
And that was around about 2017, about 3 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how did you get from, you guys getting interested in the whole electric skateboarding to, did he actually have a company and invited you in, or did you guys start it all together?
We started together. He was also at Nike at the time, and eventually left. Now he's actually working at Adidas, believe it or not. Yeah, he approached me with the thought, and then we came across Pete. Pete was at the University of Oregon sports product management master's program. And I mentor in that program, and so Pete, heard about what we were doing and said, "Hey, I would like to be an intern." And next thing you know,
that sounds like almost ideal university course to study if you wanted to make a great electric skateboard product.
Yeah, and just to clarify, CEO is Chief Engineering Officer. I got my undergrad in mechanical engineering.
Right. So you're not only great at making products and managing the products, you're good at the actual engineering as well.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of these guys, they just manage engineers. They don't really go into the actual engineering. You know what I mean? I've worked with a lot of product teams. So Pete, tell us about where you came into the company and how you sort of changed their vision, how you obviously enhanced their product. What was your journey into the company?
So like JJ said, I started off as an intern, and his ex-partner was still around. So his name was Edwin. He was doing a lot of the engineering. And so he brought me on and started kind of teaching me basically everything about the board. And there were certain things that I was assigned to make work because they didn't work yet. So a lot of my first year with the company was debugging the board, figuring out how to make it more reliable. And now I've transitioned into also being part of the design of the new boards that we're working on, kind of leading that. I work directly with JJ and with the designer. We have an industrial designer that we work with. Just kind of as a triad that we go back and forth, and so that the design isn't purely aesthetic, which is kind of how it was to begin with. It's not purely engineering. It's a beautiful blend of both.
So you've gone through a lot of iterations of improvement with the board, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're working like JJ. Yeah, what's that? Never ending iteration. Yeah, we're working to have our future boards be a lot more reliable so that we can feel confident shipping them overseas. And as we were talking with you before, JJ and I will, once we're done with the current boards, the boards we're working on right now, then we'll go back and take a look at our current board, the EL1, and do a redesign on that to make it more reliable so we can feel confident in it overseas.
Cool. Well, you mentioned that you did the engineering on the boards, and you mentioned that you redesigned some of the interior. So for those who know how electric skateboards work with electronic speed controllers, I've seen your remote. It's extremely unique, the handheld wooden remote with the dial. I'd love to have a shot of that. Can you tell us a little bit about how the engineering behind that? Are you guys using a standard speed controller, or have you designed your own? And what was the process of designing that new remote you have?
So we do use a standard ESC. Right now, the EL1 uses just a VESC 4.0 or 4.2, and we'll be transitioning to Stormcore in our future products, as well as on the redesign of the EL1. And I wasn't actually around in the company when the remote was designed, but it is proprietary channel hopping, which is why why it's such a solid remote. And I think JJ can talk a little bit about the actual form factor of the remote, though.
Yeah, we did a bit of research trying to find who was the best partner for the electronic side of it, and searched them out, found them, and got them. Had to pay a hefty NRE fee, but to get that channel hopping and that absolute secure connection, that was pretty clutch. And originally we were kind of thinking about like a trigger remote, and still with a bamboo kind of form factor to it. But one day we're just sitting right out here in the showroom, and there's these vessels, tea vessels, and they have lids that are about the same size as the puck. And so Edwin just screwed off the lid to the puck, or to the vessel, and was holding his hands like, hey, this feels awesome. And so, yeah, we just started to riff on that, and it turned out pretty good.
No, it really does look good. And I do like wheel rather than trigger for control. I'm guessing it has a good bit of resistance in the wheel. It's not, some of these cheap Chinese ones don't seem to have any resistance. It's not very controllable, but your one seems to have a metal wheel. And
yeah, the original had a lighter spring in it, 0.35 millimeter. And the later ones, ever since the Midnight Puck, we've started elevating up to a 0.5. And some people are actually still preferring the 0.35. We're offering a performance pack of different springs that people can order, anywhere from 0.35 to 0.45, 0.5, 0.55. We used to have some 0.65 and some 0.7s. Those are all gone now, though. But yeah, it seems like some people like just that really light feedback, and other people want, maybe if may depend on whether you're wearing gloves or not. It seems like people wearing gloves maybe want a little bit resistance, so that they can notice it.
Feel it through the glove.
Yeah.
It's certainly become an iconic remote that gets posted all the time, So another thing I wanted to ask you guys about, one thing everybody says about the Hoyt Street boards is, they look beautiful. The wood on them looks great. I just came from Brazil, and they do a lot of things. They don't like a lot of the sort of MFI kind of put together furniture we have in the West. They like to make stuff out of Brazilian hardwood and take more time. Yeah, and your boards are almost encapsulating that. They seem to have lovely designed wood on them.
Thank you.
What is the story behind your excellent designs?
Well, I'm first of all obligated to say wood is a 4-letter word. These are actually bamboo, which is a fast-growing grass, so super sustainable.
That's not correct.
And then the main reason, so the sustainability of using, a renewable resource like that, less of an impact on the environment, but also the mechanical, strength and integrity of the bamboo is like nothing else. Sure, if you've been to Asia, you've probably seen literally like like skyscrapers being built with bamboo scaffolding on it, up the sides. So this stuff has got amazing, strength to weight ratios, rivaling steel. It's just, and it's beautiful, right? It creates a beautiful material. So our partner who makes the deck is Bamboo Revolution. We're actually in their showroom right now, in a little office because the Wi-Fi is bad out in our workshop. They do an incredible job. They make furniture, tea vessels, wood flooring, even exploring into like tiny homes here in the near future. I had come in contact with them while at Nike through the Jordan 27, I believe it was, that had a bamboo counter on one of the colorways. And through that connection, I started working with Mike, who owns Bamboo Revolution, and approached him as somebody who could, we call him the Bamboo Whisperer, just because he knows, really how to coax bamboo into forms that a lot of people couldn't figure out. So it just turned out to be an amazing product, and aesthetically anyway. I think we ended up a little bit of a niche with our removable batteries I think that's kind of forced us into a lower range scenario, and then I think that the lack of a high range battery and the lack of pneumatics is what's kind of kept our volume a little bit low, but we're addressing both of those. Yeah.
And do you think the bamboo surround helps, the battery flex, the sort of board structure?
Well, our board is super rigid. The bottom deck being also out of bamboo and having all that intricate 3D curvature to it, it really creates a very stiff, board which is what we wanted. We wanted that for two reasons: one, for stability, high speeds, and then also to protect the internals of the board, all the electronics, so that it's not getting too much abuse.
It's amazing how strong and versatile bamboo is. If you guys get the chance to pick up Rambo 5, Last Blood, he has some very innovative uses for bamboo as well.
I'm not sure I can stomach it.
So, guys, your boards, they're going for around, now I had a look at your website earlier, and it seemed to be around the 2K mark.
Yeah.
What kind of price range are you guys selling at? Is it 1,500 to 2,500, something like that? What range?
The EL one is $19.99, but then there's the Riverside version of it, where for an extra $200 you get the chance to work with the Hoyt designers and map your city.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the way I see you guys is like a kind of designer. Like you're going to buy a handbag. You're not just going to buy any handbag. You're going to buy some kind of special Italian handbag, right? And I would maybe consider a Hoyt Street board in the same caliber, lovely design, pay a little bit more, but it's a quality product. And I've heard you guys have a great relationship after you sell the product with a lot of your customers.
Yeah, we try and really, do the customer right, particularly at this front end. I mean, it's like, hey, people don't know Hoyt from anything, and we want to reward the people who put their trust in us to just completely overdo it on customer service. Sure.
Now I'm looking at some of your boards, and you've got some great grip tape designs. Do you have like a in-house skateboard designer or something like that, or who does these designs?
That was me.
That's very impressive.
Thanks.
I like the one with the universe on it. Really great.
Yeah.
So I've been asked a question about universal, about international. We're not quite international shipping. Do you guys do any kind of international shipping? If you wanted to buy your board in Europe or some other continent, would I be able to do that?
So the pucks, we are shipping internationally, and we just ask people to reach out to us and determine the shipping cost, and then we have them just purchase like an extra grip tape in order to cover that international shipping generally. But the boards, like I said earlier, were not yet shipping internationally, primarily because the electronics are such a clusterfuck that we eventually somebody's going to have to be in Europe and servicing these things or UK or wherever. And it's just so complicated right now that we need to redesign that to simplify it and make it a lot easier to service and repair when necessary.
Well, we spoke to Metro Board a few weeks back, and they said they were certifying their batteries after they made it. They were putting the stamp on to show the various values and whatnot, and they were managing to ship internationally now. But a couple of years ago, I think they had some serious issues. So have you guys had any problems with shipping batteries, even in the United States?
Everything has to go by ground in the U.S. I did recently take a course on international shipping of products, so we can do it. That's not a problem. It's just that we don't feel the product is ready to be shipped overseas. We're going to have to find a distributor and somebody who can manage minor repairs and whatnot. Yeah.
So find someone else in Europe who's already there. So I'm just reading some questions on the screen. Who represents them in Europe? Martin, I think we've covered that question. I don't think they are represented in Europe. But is it right that you guys are looking for a potential distributor in Europe, if anyone's watching?
Eventually, yeah. Well, so when the Booger comes out, our short board, that'll be hopefully like July, August. Then the board will be ready to go international, and we'll be ready to start, considering, who would be a good partner to both distribute as well as handle repairs and maintenance.
And I've seen I'm just being asked about the motor mount on the back of your trucks. That's a unique design by you guys as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
What kind of motors do you use on the Hoyt Electric skateboards?
Yeah, so we work with a company that's here in Oregon, so locally designed, called KDE, and they do contract work for the military, so they know what they're doing as far as motors. They design them for like UAVs, quadcopters, drones for the military.
Submersibles as well.
Oh, and submersibles, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so JJ and Edwin contacted them pretty early on and had them design a custom motor for us.
Excellent. All right then, guys. Well, I think I don't see any more questions coming up. I just want to say, Jeff, I'm a massive fan of your designs. They look excellent. I'd love to try one of your boards in Europe once we can get, shipping and maybe a distributor worked out. And I'm sure everyone enjoyed watching the show. We all love your skateboards. So thanks for coming on, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good night, everybody.
Not Alaska either. Too far.